Hello, welcome to Loremaster's Lair. I'm your Loremaster, and we have a bit of a shorter video this week, but one which is just as important. After all, while it's lacking a central government and any books directly related to it, the country of Thuvia is a region with its own influence. And with an adventure taking place there coming relatively soon, let's take a quick look at the country. The first records of life in the area was when desert people came to form the Teratani League in -3250 AR. However, this league only lasted about 2,000 years, and spent most of it either in the middle of the war zone between the Giscan Imperium and the ancient Assyrians, or as a vassal state to the ancient Assyrians. Not exactly the most memorable of existences. But even farther, when Assyrian collapsed, the region was let go, not becoming an independent state, but a region of savage anarchy for about another 2,000 years. Needless to say, it was a while before the lands which would become Thuvia would make their mark on history. It was the year 1140 AR when fate began to change. The alchemist Artacus Kiran discovered an elixir of eternal life, known as the Sun Orchard Elixir. Its power to halt aging brought it into high demand, and many foreign powers tried to take the recipe by force. However, eventually the alchemist set up a system where, every year, 6 vials of the elixir were made and auctioned off at the highest bidder. The sales would rotate through Thuvia's 5 city-states, so one was not any more powerful than the other. And in the end, the money would allow his home to work to become a nation comparable to anywhere else on Galorian. Well, the last part has unfortunately not come about, but Thuvia is to this day an independent and lucrative country. Now for the reason why today is a shorter video. Thuvia, in general, is relatively sparse. There's a giant desert for most of the region, and, while not as infamous as the Mana race, the early wars between ancient Syrian and Gisca have made it so the region is full of dangerous creatures, some of who were mysteriously once men. However, 5 city-states currently stand as bastions of life in the bleak desert. So, these 5 will be our main focuses for today. The first and largest of the city-states is Mirab, the birthplace of Artacus Kiran himself. Along with Kiran, this city is known for some of the greatest alchemists in the entire continent of Garand. It is the original claimant to the Sun Orchard Elixir, with its alliance with the other city-states coming from its need for protection. After all, it is right on the coast where all the inner seas naval powers can try to steal the mostly guarded treasure. Friends kind of help. The patron deity of the city is Sanre, and the city's leaders, at least at last check, was Ilipodos. Of course, a majority of the defense comes from the second largest city-state, Aspenthar. This city is also built on the coast, but is known for both its defenses and almost all of its citizens being conscripted to its armies, making it the military backbone of the alliance. The current leader is Prince Zillo, a man who seems to have lofty ambitions. He has been seen negotiating with the people who do call the desert their home, as well as being open about his ambitions to put his daughter on the throne of Mirab. Leaving the coast, we go to the third largest of the city-states, Loremaster. This city is located on the border with Assyrian, before the dangers of the desert reached their fullest. It is known for its devotion to performers and artists. The city makes its patron Pharasma, which, considering the dangers of the region, tracks. The leader of the city is Queen Zemir, who also has the honor of being the one who speaks to foreign powers the most, thanks to her skills of diplomacy. Fourth is Drower, situated by the Barrier Mountain, next to the headwaters of the Tovanar River. As opposed to fighting the desert to survive, this town is filled with druids who are devoted to living with the desert. As you can imagine, Gazra is popular. The leader of the city is Karain, the defender of Doar. And finally, we have Pashao, located in the middle of the desert, not far from the Barrier Mountains. While placed in the most perilous of the locations, they are able to survive with the power of magic, and revere Nethys because of this. The last reported leader was Gildus, though the loss of 2 shipments of Sun Orchard elixir had the Emir in a perilous place with his people. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. I hope we get more information on Thuvia in the future one day, outside of Pathfinder Society, of course. Those are still blind spots for me. Either way, I have plenty for us to look forward to this coming month, mostly around a specific topic, starting with a guard video next week. See you then.